Hi, my name's Shirley and I'm going to show you how to grow a garden in a box or a container. It's taken me 15 years to experiment and work this out, so I'm going to show you how to grow things in a box. Now the trick is to put your holes about 5 centimetres or 2 inches up the side of the box. So you don't put them on the bottom like most things. This, we put the holes along the side. I'll show you. A good thing to use is a paintbrush because it's got a point to poke it in and then tape it. So what I do is get my box. These free polystyrene boxes are really good. Don't cost you anything. So we start about there. In from the corner. I've got my hand in behind so it won't rip the whole lot. Put one in there, then come down this end and we go along the same height. Poke one in that hole, that end. Then I'll poke one in the middle and another one in between those two. Okay? So they should be the same height. Then we turn it around. I don't put any in the ends. This side we do the same. Another hole there, another hole up this end, one in the middle. I go into the width of a finger or just under. Another hole here, and another hole there. Okay. Right, we've put the holes in our box with our paintbrush along here. Now, I don't put anything in the base of the box, I just putting that straight in to the box. This one I've only got 4 holes because it's a smaller box. So what we do is fill it with a good quality potting mix. Then the thing to remember is name the seeds you're going to plant. I've got some cucumber seeds. On the back of it, it will tell you the instructions of how deep to plant things. So I just use that. Sprinkle a few seeds in. Okay, cucumber seeds, I'm just going to use my finger and pop them in about 2 centimetres apart. And I'll transplant these later. Okay, slightly cover it up, gently press it, fold your seeds up, pop them back into your packet. Now apparently keeping them in the freezer or the fridge keeps them longer in a hot climate. The next things I'm going to plant are some heirloom tomatoes. So next to them I'll do another little line. I'll read the back to find out how deep I'm going to plant them. Carefully get my seeds out if I can. I always put them on my hand because it's easier to see them. Then these are tiny seeds, so I'm just going to sprinkle them along. Now I won't need as many as I've got there, so I'll just pop them back in, gently cover it, pat it down and put those away. Right, you keep them moist, but the whole point of having your holes in the bottom is because in our rainy climate here it will overflow out, but when it's a drought, which we get rain or drought, in a drought it holds a reservoir of water in the base of your box. So I found that works really well. Now I found it really good for cuttings too. So I'm going to show you how to do some cuttings. Succulents, really easy. You can use either honey or cutting hormone. I happen to have some cutting hormone, so I use that. All you do is cut the end of your thing you want to plant, succulents, it's just a matter of cutting them, popping them in and poking it in. So we've put our succulent in. Now I'm going to show you, I do floral art, so when I buy flowers I always attempt to get them to grow. So what I'll do is cut it below that joint. I'll cut that one off. Then, actually I'm going to come up here and cut the flowers off. Okay, strip the bottom off, dip it in cutting hormone and just push it in. Okay, that's a carnation. To do a rose, that's a bit of a funny one. Let's do this one. Cut the leaf off, cut it flat under there. I'm going to cut off some of these leaves. So about half the leaves, so it's not so much going into the leaves. Dip it in the hormone powder and plant it. Got another rose here. I'm going to cut off part of those leaves, so there's a couple. Now, this is a tiny one. I need to cut below a joint because that's where it gets the root. So I'm going to cut that off. Dip it in the hormone stuff and push it in. Okay, this one might not grow, but I'm going to do it for luck. So I'm just going to cut it below that little joint coming off. Cut the bottom flat and the top I cut on an angle so you know what's the top and what's the bottom. So the flat's the bottom. Push it in. Okay, now I've got these two. A rosemary and this pretty stuff. I haven't tried this before, but I like it for floral art. So I'm going to take off half the flowers and I'm just going to cut it flat and strip the bottom. Dip it in, push it in. We'll do one more piece, cut it flat, cut half the flowers off. Strip the bottom and poke it in. Right, rosemary, take the flowers off, cut a piece flat, and take those side pieces off too. Put it in the compound, plant it, press it in as you do it. This one, if you need to cut an angle, then just cut it flat where you're going to pop it in. Cut part of the top off, dip it in, push it in. So, there you go. You can do that with anything. I'll attempt to try strike anything. Some things work, some don't, but it's worth trying. So that's how we do our cuttings. Right, now this is our box finished, so we're going to water everything in. I actually use rainwater if you can. As you can see, my watering can's a bit drippy. Keep it moist in. Now the thing when you start is to fill it, keep it moist, but then after that you fill it till the water runs out of these holes. But this one here has been in a few months. So if it's not out in the rain will just run out, but if it's dry and we haven't had enough rain, I'll fill it till the water runs out of the holes. And you can put something like Charlie Carp or seaweed compound or something in your watering can to give it some more nutrients, but I find rain pretty good. These are carnations that have been in a few months, and as you can see they're starting to get little shoots. This one's even getting a flower. In here I've got a chrysanthemum that's taking, so you just leave it in there till they grow. Some things don't work, I just pull them out and I'll insert a new cutting when I want that. Okay, over here I've actually done it done it in a box, in a bowl rather, and I've got my husband to drill some holes, and I've got them 4 or 5 inches apart. That watering can leaks. So I got him to drill some holes, same height up, 5 centimetres, about 2 inches. I've got these ones a bit lower because the bowl is lower. This isn't the best having a rim like this because it actually gets spiders growing under it, but this was what was available. So I've got my parsley growing in that. So just in summary, the important thing to remember is to put your holes up the side of your container. You're putting them up the side, not underneath your container. 5 centimetres to 2 inches up the side, using a paintbrush going in till about the thickness of your finger, and they go up the side so that you're getting a reservoir of water underneath. In the rain it'll overflow, in the drought you'll be able to keep a reservoir underneath. So we'll have a pause now and we'll go and have a look at some containers I've got in the garden. Here are some boxes I've got out the side, up on stands so I don't have to bend right over. This is an arum lily. Its flower's just finished. I don't always fill it right to the top either, you don't need to. So I planted that from a small baby when I started. These are some amaranth, I think they're called. I planted those from seed. This is a Queen Anne's lace, that's self-seeded in there from last year. These are cuttings I've taken, so I will repot these, but they've survived in there really well and they've got that big. Now we'll go up to the strawberries. Here I've got 2 boxes with strawberries in them. This you do need to fill the soil up higher because you want the strawberries to come over the edge and not ripen in the dirt. I've just got these sitting out here in the sun. Another strawberry. This I've put in as a cutting and it just survives in there. Cut off the dead ones. So I've got a couple of boxes there. Over here I've got arum lilies in a box and they're doing really well. I keep them on my stand in the shade. That's one thing with them in boxes, you can actually move them around to where the sun is or the shade is. So there we go, have a go at making some gardens in boxes with the holes up the side, and hope you have a great success. Thank you.